Just listen.
Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time again. We got the man, LA City's finest, Coach Jimmy Mediros on this podcast. Oh, yeah. For all you that didn't know, Jimmy likes to dig in the crates. Little Jodeci to start everything off with. Oh, man. See, dude, last time I was talking about how Katya just gets thug on her playlist, because I know because I've been in the car with her. And I thought it was Diamond on the phone. It was actually Katya. But people probably be surprised. Jimmy likes to get down like that. Rybeck, what are you selling Christmas trees back there?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Sale.
He just muted himself before he said anything. Bravo.
Oops, sorry.
There we go.
Yeah, we're selling them by the foot.
Yeah. Well, for me, you have to sell it by the inch. Little weeble. I thought about doing the podcast with my daughter's little house in the background and be like, here I am at my casa. But anyhow, how are you guys doing?
Good.
You had a tournament this weekend, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, we had the Blackwater Classic. You know, it's kind of a lower level varsity tournament for boys and girls. So it was good, ran smooth. We got out of there early and, paid a ton of money for refs and we got some matches in. So it was good. Dude,
speaking of a ton of money for refs, Josh, you said you were kind of boat over the coals for your tournament, right?
Yeah, we were. It seems like they want more and more for less, and if you don't do things exactly like by the book as far as like how the pay structure is, they want to there's all these adders that they can add on and get you for more, and if you start late they get you for more, and if they do this they get you for more. And I understand, if you start an hour late, but if you're starting 15 minutes late, it is what it is,
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. How much did you pay in refs this weekend, Jimmy?
$213 a ref, and we paid 5 refs.
5 refs for 4 mats.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
how long was your tournament?
We were done at 2.
Okay. So got 5 hours of work in.
Yeah, about 5 hours. They made over $50 an hour.
Oh.
They keep saying that they're struggling to get more young referees to come out. They just need to advertise how much they get paid, and these guys will come out. I mean, I'm trying to encourage ex-wrestlers to go ref because, man, you need a job. Every weekend you can make $200. How about that?
Yeah, you're gonna be there anyways.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's the thing. I talked to some referees that I knew and was hitting them up about the hourly rate. So they were going by hourly rate. And they're like, dude, it sounds great and everything. They're like, but there's times where it just screws you. They said, for instance, a dual meet. They're like, I drive to a LA City school. You might have 8 matches at some schools if you're lucky. And these guys, they don't screw the schools over. They're like, look, I'm going to charge you for one. Charge you for one level, get everybody matches, and we'll get out of here. But they could easily rake them over the coals, and just be like, oh, it's 3 levels, sorry, So, but they were saying plus, other things like when they go to a tournament, and it's a small tournament, they get paid by the hour. I mean, $28 an hour, 20, $30 an hour even. I mean, they would have walked out with half the money that they did with your tournament. You know what I'm saying? So in that case, it would have helped,
It kills small tournaments like that when you're like, we're going to barely break even with the referee costs because we're paying so much and it was a small tournament. Now, if it's a big tournament, it goes late, then it may not kill you to, pay them by hour because it might be more, but at least you're making a lot of money.
Yeah, you got 60, 70 teams paying $350, $400 a pop, Yeah. Referees costs aren't that big a deal.
But another thing too, though, is dude, you can't pay them all the same because some of them are horrible.
Oh.
Some of them, I'm like, my God, this is terrible.
I feel like there should be an evaluation, at the tournaments, and then you can be based on their performance. It's like performance-based pay. That'd be great.
Oh, dude. But then they would just want to rate themselves, and just stars across the board. And it's like, oh.
Well, the tournament director should.
Oh, I 100%.
The one who's paying
100%.
them should.
Yeah.
Judge.
Yeah, I'm the boss. I'm paying you. You know,
Yeah.
I used to hate it because when I was at Panorama, right, and I had to deal with the referees and stuff, and they'd show up, dude, and they'd be like, and I need my own locker room, and I need this, and I need that, and I would just be like, sorry, dude, check's not here yet, AD's not here, even though it's in my back pocket. I'm just like, no, just wait, dude.
You know what really irritates the crap out of me is when refs come up to me as a tournament director and say, "Hey, can we get something from the snack bar?" And
No.
absolutely, you can reach into your wallet, pull out the money I'm about to pay you, and buy whatever you want. Like, you know, coaches at least are paying to come there. They can have some out of the snack bar, coaches room, whatever, however big the tournament is. But when the ref says, "Can I get something out of the snack bar?" No.
And it's usually the ones that like you could say, come on, dude, do you really need it? Do you really need it? Okay, those stripes are fading. They look almost, the gray looks white and the black looks gray. Come on now. Like, but nah, there's some really good referees out there, but there's just some like this weekend. Dude, bad refereeing is like, dude, it's a plague right now. We're at a tournament this weekend, right? And you know, my girl's wrestled a girl, and she's the girl's hard to turn. So I'm like, let's do a little catch and release. Let's kind of, you know, work our way up. And you know, we go out of bounds, and the ref, I see him saying something to my kid, and I'm just like, So I walk over to the table, and I'm like, do I need to make sure she understands something? And he's like, what are you talking about? I go, well, you know, I just noticed you were having a conversation with her if she's doing something wrong. He's like, do you want a warning? And I was like, I'm not questioning your judgment. I'm at the table asking you if I need to make sure my athlete understands what you're saying. He's like, you're this close, coach. And I was like, all right. You know, and I'm walking back, and then he walks over to my wrestler and says, you're on a short leash now. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you telling my kid that for? Like, now she's got to worry about, you know, what she's doing because you're upset about something because I asked you a question, you know, and I didn't question a judgment or anything. I was just trying to make sure my kid understood if she was doing something wrong. So I get that. I don't know. That upset me. And Bowman's mom got into it with him too, because this guy was like selectively kicking people like off the side, you know, because there was space. I mean, they're supposed to have what, like 5 feet? Is that what it is? 5 feet of runoff space? Feet. And he was like, no, like there's 5 feet plus there's another 5 feet of court. And she's sitting there, and he's like, you got to move now. And he's like walking up to her, and I'm like, dude, he's gonna get. Cheyenne didn't get that from nowhere, dude. He's about to get dozed over. So she like went off on him, dude. It was funny, but I mean, she was all on her right though. The guy was a jerk, you know. But yeah, it was not good at all. Any bad refereeing that you guys experienced?
This weekend was pretty good. I mean, it was smooth. We had a couple of duels the other day where, you know, the guy was docking them for every little thing. And I wrestled my JV girls. So, you know, I was trying to get them experience and matches. Some of them don't know what they're doing at all. And, you know, one ref understood that and was kind of talking them through the situation. Another ref just like dinging them and not telling them anything. And I'm like, can you explain to her what she's doing wrong so she can learn? Like, I want her to learn, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're just kind of like, oh, this is the rule, and they're not taking the time to, you know, help a kid along. I want them to.
And you could tell. And you could tell. You could tell, right? When that kid is like shoulders over the hands, you know, hips over the knees, they're just locked out. Like, you know, or they're on top and their knees are reversed or whatever. Like, you know, there's certain things.
I had a girl who was like spacing out, and she lined up behind the girl when they were trying to stand on their line. And I was trying to tell her, you know, no, go to the other side. So she went down, and then the ref called her for stalling. And she had no idea why she's being called for stalling or anything. And I was just kind of like, can you talk to her? Like, it was a dilemma. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know who's worse. Refs, because I've been to a couple lower level tournaments recently, or girls refs. But yesterday, he kept literally forgetting to count when they were on their back, and I had him like 8 times throughout the day, and every time I just knew I had to remind him, don't forget to start counting, and then he would start counting.
Oh,
this guy's been around. I've seen him for like 2 or 3 years. I've seen him reffing? Like,
Jimmy, it's one. It's just one. He's on his back for 15 seconds. One.
Yeah.
No, the ref that got mad at me, he was taking his time after, like, to count. And I'm like, you're just punishing the other girl. Like, it's not fair to her. Like, it's not hurting, like, my wrestler or me. She's getting, like, planted into the ground every time. Like, you shouldn't do that to her. But I just was like, all right, waiting for it. So that was interesting. Hey, how are you guys about that too? Like, catch and release?
I love it because honestly, I think pinning a girl or a boy in 17 seconds or whatever right away, you get nothing from it and you're not benefiting whatsoever. So I'm a big fan of, taking them down, working some takedowns, working some turns, and getting some work in with a different opponent other than just pinning them right away. And sometimes people can conceive that as, taunting them or kind of, showboating. But I think, in the sense, we're trying to get matches for a reason, and that's to get quality work in. And if you're not working, then to me, it's a waste of time.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I ask is because we're there, right? And we're like you, Jimmy. Like, we're takedown oriented. We're looking to score. We're looking to put it. And so in a situation like that, where there's times where I tell my girls, like, look, just finish it. Like, this kid, clearly, we don't want him getting hurt. Yeah. There's other times where, like, no, you need to get some work in. And on the other side of it too, like, the other girl gets to work her defense, even if she's outclassed. She gets to work her defense, gets to work her stand-ups, stuff like that. And so the Cypress coach got real upset at my daughter because I told her, like, my daughter's like, dude, she's got to get work in. Like, this is our girl's first tournament of the year. So our A girls, it's their first tournament of the year, so we got to get some work in. And he was like, telling his girl, like, don't get up. Don't get up. And the ref's like, stalling. Like, it's like, no, like we're not trying to, like, be jerks. We're just trying to get some work in, trying to get our, our setups down and stuff like that.
I think it's one of the single best things you can do as practice during a match, to do that, to get that confidence. It really helps no matter what level. Now, I mean, I've always emphasized to the better kids, like, don't be a dick about it and don't be tripping them on as they're on their way up or shoving their head into the ground. If you're equal class to them, then go for it. But if you're, that much better than them, you're a Masters state qualifier and you're wrestling a newbie pud, and, don't be a jerk about it. Just work, stay in good position and get your 14, 15 takedowns and a couple tilts.
Yeah, so that was kind of interesting. I was just like, am I don't know. I know I'm old now, but am I that old school that it's like, it's such a far concept now for coaches to understand? Like, this is just wrestling. It happened to me.
Yeah.
Never, but still, like, I mean, I saw it when I was young, and it was just kind of one of those things. But
that's how I used to wrestle. I mean, I used to try to just take everybody down. My junior year, I was trying to get, like, the takedown record.
trying to beat what's his name? Steven Avis. Before that was what was his name? Steve Strand. Steve Strand was another one too. Yeah. I think they had a bunch of takedowns, but
Casey Strand or Steve Strange.
Steve Strange.
Steve Strange. That's what it is. Steve Strange. Okay. Yeah. It's funny.
I think Josh Holiday had it for like 1 year, and then Abbas broke it the very next year. But like, I think that was a different era that we were in. You had Eric Guerrero, taking him down, letting him up, all the Calvary guys, Abbas,
Luis Blanco.
Blanco. Everybody was doing it to, like, get better and be dominant,
Yeah. And it softens them up. I tell my girls, like, a girl who you take it down 5 times is going to be a lot easier to pin than a girl you took down once and try to turn. They've still got that fight now. You got to kind of take it out sometimes. So, I don't know. Probably a laundry list. Add that to the laundry list of reasons people don't like me. But good. At least I'm not alone in my thought process.
No.
So
a ref got mad at me a couple weeks ago in Carter because our girl had her on her back, and I was like, let her go. And he said, you can't let them off their back. Like, you have to try to pin them. And I was like, you can't tell me how to wrestle. Like, I mean,
get a little loose, then. Get a little loose.
Well, you can't like let them off their back. Like, you can't just like jump off them when they're on their back. That's unsportsmanlike for some stupid reason.
Cooties, the man lava.
But you have to let them roll over, and then you can let them up. I don't understand that.
Well, I'm like, if you have a tilt, right, and you have a tilt, you're tilting them, you get back points, you let them go to their belly, nobody gets mad about that. But if you have a half and you let it go, then they're like, oh, you can't let them off their back. It's like, what's the difference? It's still in their fault.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like they just the little things, Like, come on,
Yeah.
man. Like, I'm giving this kid more. I'm giving this kid their money's worth too. Like, they're getting a little bit more mat time. Granted they're outclassed, but they still, can work their stance. They can still work their defense. They can still work a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Coaches out there, don't take it to heart. It's not just business.
What tournaments happened this weekend?
So we were at Santa Ana. I believe Paloma Valley looked amazing, dude, like winning the tournament. But that's because they were in Somar gear. But no, they I think they won it. I gotta look it up real quick. Buyer sent me the email this morning. Paramount was there. Hang on, here it is. Let me open up Tim's.
San Fernando won, then Paramount, then Paloma Valley.
That's what it was.
I mean, it was close. It was like 179 to 177 between San Fernando and Paramount.
Yeah, they're bringing it with it, and then for Paramount too, they have a good sized team. They always have a really good sized team, but I know they lost their coach this year. Coach Martinez retired, so that was a big question mark, in terms of like, okay, how are they gonna fare? So they had some tough girls. They placed a lot. So let's see. Yeah, it was San Fernando 179, Paramount 177, Paloma Valley 160. So Paloma Valley won the fashion award, but took third in the
fashion.
They looked good doing it too.
Lena Parra didn't wrestle either. That would have been a bunch of team points.
Neither did Gianna Anaya. So
exactly.
Don't sleep on that girl. They're both hammers. So yeah, they had them out of the lineup. They got Arana there. That's real tough. Around 150.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, she's tough. She's coming up. They just always got really tough girls. They're good all the way through. Usually, they're just solid kids. So I know we had to wrestle a couple of them. So that was interesting. Saw a little spat go on between one of the coaches and another coach. That was kind of interesting. Little jog back and forth. I was in the corner, but I was not involved. So that was just like, okay. Like, it was legit. So the girl's on top, and she's running a half, wrist in half, and it's getting close, right? And in San Fernando, they're savvy, dude. So they're like, hey, ref, watch the full Nelson. So the ref wasn't even like in position, but she started to run it, and it could look like it from that position, but he wasn't in sight, and he called it. So the coach stands up and goes over to the table and is like, hey, that's not a full Nelson. We got the wrist. And he's like, well, if it touches, it's a full. And I guess he's walking back. According to the coach I was in the corner with, somebody told him, learn the rules, bitch. And he like lost it, dude. So I was just like, I don't know. I didn't hear anything. I'm not involved. I'm just because it was a girl that changed on the club with us, and she's actually like really turned herself around and actually put on the select team despite she's just a hard worker. That's it. She just everything you'd want in a kid. If she's gonna be late to practice, she texts you. She's never late though. She does double practices, sometimes, and just for that, like, we put her on the team because she's just doing everything we would want a kid to do. And she's just getting her feet under her. But that's why I was in the corner. But I was just like, oh my gosh, dude, I thought there was gonna be a problem. But good tournament overall. Bowman was there, of course, did what she does. Kind of a surprise, not a surprise win, but just like the manner by which it happened was Samantha Barragon wrestled Gloria Gonzalez, the state placer / CIF champ from Paramount in the finals, and it wasn't close, unfortunately. And I know there's probably some stuff going on, but when you have someone like Gloria, I think you kind of expect a little bit.
Yeah, but Barragan is a hammer. Like she's put on like some weight. She wrestled.
She showed it, dude.
Dude, she wrestled 116 for Fargo, or maybe even 116 for Fargo.
Look, she's at 126 right now, but she doesn't look too bad. But she put on her 10-0 in the finals on a state placer.
Yeah,
she's a hammer. Really tall.
Yeah,
really tall. She's got a lot of length.
Yeah, so she actually had a pretty good tournament. She had that major plus a pin in the semis, a pin in the quarters, pin in the first round. So she just was running through 125, 138, 157, then 10-0. So she did a great job. Quella took third in that weight class, so that was a good match in the finals. 131 would have probably been a little interesting to see too, because
Well, wait, did Bowman go?
Bowman went 37s.
Okay.
So she's coming off some injuries and stuff like that. I know it before the season started. So, but she did her thing. Pin in the finals 122, pin in the semis 227, pin in the quarters 12 seconds, pin in the first round 112. So she beat the Paramount girl Jenny Gonzalez in the finals. The Redlands girl took third. Savannah High School had a pretty tough 101 pounder. That was pretty cool to see. I was like, oh, this girl's pretty tough. Let me see her. But I don't even think she lost in the finals to the Paloma Valley girl. Got stuck in 53 seconds. But Savannah girl looked tough. Let's see here. Oh, Devin Gomez won it at 106. She beat Aguilera, from Santa Ana. Sophia Martinez was there this weekend too. I think.
Yeah, well, wait, you won 111.
Thanks. Hang on a second. Why am I not seeing her? Hang on. Is this a misprint or something?
Samantha won 116.
116. Yeah, that's what I sorry, not Sophia, Samantha. So yeah. She had a good tournament. 114 in the finals, 47 seconds in the semis, 58 seconds in the quarters, 130, and so she had her way through it. So San Fernando girl won it in the finals at 121s. See here, Bowman at 37. Marlene, Godina's girl won it at 43.
She got OW.
Yeah. Kind of felt like there was some other people too that kind of should have been considered there.
How does the B girl get OW? I mean, like,
because look at
tournament.
Arana goes through with a 12-second pin, a 16-second pin, a 4-minute pin, and a 32-second pin in the finals. Doesn't get OW because she had one less match.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. So this girl,
the OW thing where they just do the quickest amount of pins, most pins with the quickest amount of time. Because if you just get unfortunate to have a first round bye, which a lot of times you do, you don't have a chance for the OW. And you might be the most dominant, might have the best match in the finals, but
I mean, what if you beat Cheyenne Bowman 3-2 in the finals? You should be the OW.
Yeah, you're the player of the best. Yeah,
not because you pinned some pud.
Yeah, 2 years ago at Queen of the Hill, Alex beat what's her name from Oak Hills.
Corey Burton.
Corey Burton, right? Both returning state champs, and she beats her in the finals. No OW.
That seems wrong. That seems wrong.
I mean, that's the match of the night, and still
both offensive minded.
Yeah.
So
it was a great match, but no OW.
No OW. It's terrible. Heavyweights came down to Monroe because Angela missed weight by 0.4.
Oh, really? They both wrestled each other?
No, they just freaking double forfeit in the finals.
Okay.
So that was good. And then a couple of Cerritos girls won, so it was good overall. And then there was West Covina this weekend too. I think that probably they had some hammers there. They had a Walnut was there, part of that Pounders contingency there, and then I think Northview was there. But they had a pretty good tournament too, I think. So, and then I think Tustin had duels. I think Montclair won that, and then forget who else was there. But yeah, so there's a lot of tournaments going on in SoCal. It's kind of spreading out the talent, but it's good overall.
Where are you guys going this weekend, Jimmy?
We're going to TLC up north.
That's where I plan on going. I got an email to make sure we can get in. I didn't do any. I didn't know how long she'd be out, so I didn't do that contract. But we'll see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a good tournament. I like it. Get to see a lot of northern schools.
Right.
Get to see the Swamp Monsters.
Well, it's a 2-day, right?
Yeah, 2 days.
Yeah, so there should be room. Yeah, we could see maybe some swamp monsters, but she's still on the. His daughter's still not cleared yet from CIF.
Oh, yeah, that was a ringworm issue or something. Speaking of not cleared, dude, what's the status with Jersey Estrada?
She's been lagging to get her physical paperwork done and stuff like that. So.
So that's good. She's good to go though. Other than that,
she should be. Yeah, I mean, hopefully she'll be wrestling next week or the week after. But she said she has a concert to go to, so I don't know. She might not.
That's the LA life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the LA life.
EDC's in the summer. Tell her get to
There's a lot to do. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Well,
so Jimmy, who do you think is more hated right now? You or which Jimmy? Jimmy Bowers or you?
It's just automatic, okay? It just comes with the territory.
I mean, there's a lot of shade being thrown. We throw shade in fun because we're good friends with both of you guys. But I hear it all the time out of tournaments and like, oh my gosh, can you believe how bad they're recruiting? Can you believe how bad this place is recruiting? Can you believe this? Can you believe that? It's like,
well, I think Jimmy made a good analogy when we were talking through text one day, and he's like, name one person who's ever said, "Nah, I'm good." You want to figure state champ? Nah, I'm good. Don't worry about it. National champ? We're good. Just don't fill out that paper. Don't just go somewhere else.
I mean, everyone can ask themselves the question: if like returning state champ comes to your team and says, "Hey, I want to wrestle for you," are they going to say, "No, we're homegrown here. We don't accept state champ. Sorry." No, I don't think they will. I don't think anybody will. And that's what Jimmy.
I think Hillcrest just did it, didn't he, Josh?
What?
I think Hillcrest just did that, didn't they?
Said no.
Yeah,
I
don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard the final verdict yet. I haven't heard where they've landed. They might be going to Birmingham, from all I know.
It's one thing to say like, hey, we want you to like, we want to come there and we want our own coach to coach us, and we don't want anything to do with your program. It's another thing to be like, hey, we want to be a part of your program, and we want what you have to offer, and we want to be a part of it. Like, nobody's going to say no to that. I mean, it's just a compliment to the work that they put in. And that's why I think a lot of people are, you know, going places. And Jimmy has a good program. He's a good coach. Like, people are going to go to him. And me and him were talking last weekend, and he just kept saying, you know, I'm never going to turn anybody away. Like, if somebody wants to come to my program, they can come. I'm not going to say no. You know, and nobody really does. I haven't really heard of too many people being like, no, we're good. You know, don't come. Even though you can help us, like, we're not going to take you, because the truth is everybody would. And the people that are mad are just mad that they didn't come to them. And that's what it seems like. So it's frustrating, you know, to hear a lot of people, you know, talking smack, because the truth is they don't know anything. Most people don't know any situation. They make assumptions. Oh, a bunch of people come here and all this stuff. And, you know, I was talking to Ramirez as well. And, you know, he was saying, you know, he's, you know, talking about what he's done. And I said, well, because some girls want to come to my school, why does it erase all the hard work that I've done for the last 9 years? And that I've had a state champion every single year since 2014. And they were never transfers, any of them. So, you know, it's like frustrating when you're like, oh, now all of a sudden all this hard work that I've done means nothing. And the fact that we have 5 returning state qualifiers means nothing also, you know?
Yeah, I think people, like you said, they have very short sight. You know, they only know their history as long as they've been there and been told something. They never go back and look how far back it goes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, they don't understand exactly what goes into why do people have to begin with. You know, they don't just look at a map and just say, oh, Birmingham. You know, it's like, okay, well, you look and you're at tournaments and you see, and you're like, oh, that, you know, I noticed that's singled out there a lot, you know, or I like the way that coach is, you know, interacting with his kids, and they start talking, you know. I mean, I don't say it, but like, I was recruited my junior year, you know, that's why I left my high school, you know, and, you know, my coach had an issue, and so I had to go back my senior year, but I was, you know, my junior year, so I'm not against transfers per se. Have I had transfers? No, never had a transfer. But you
Would
know,
you say no to a transfer? I doubt it.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I ended up coaching Diamond, you know, and she
Yeah.
lived in Palmdale, and I had to drive up, and luckily, like Silmar was gracious enough to let us, you know, work out in their room. But I mean, if Diamond was, you know, like, hey, I want to come to West Covina with you, or I want to go to, you know, Panorama with you, or Cerritos, what would I say? You know, of course, I'm like, no, dude, like we have a rapport, we work good together, let's go, you know. So
I mean,
I'm not
we're trying
against
to
it.
help kids at the end of the day. I mean, and if a kid thinks that coming to your school is going to help them get where they want to go, and they're willing to make that kind of commitment, then they're serious about it, and they really want to do that. Then that's up to them and their family, and that's like a, you know, to me, it's a family decision. And you know, I don't always know that it's the best thing. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes, you know, it's a hard thing for the family, or it's a hard thing for the kid to adjust, especially if they're a senior, you know, to buy into somebody new's program, and they have different ways of doing things. They teach the moves differently. Like those things are hard. And like sometimes they like, oh, I don't like it that way. And then they don't really buy in, and they don't get the benefits that they came for. But it happens, you know, and it
Yeah,
happens
I
both
know.
ways.
Yeah, I mean, even it's funny because like I think I've been in more programs, you know, than probably anybody
Yeah,
else.
man.
But
Yeah.
I can honestly say though, like I've made a difference in every program that I've coached at. You know, if
Yeah.
I had a kid that was any good, they made a jump that
Yeah.
next year. You know, I can say that. And I mean, you saw me at Panorama. I had kids that didn't know shit. You know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you know, we eventually, you know, got them pretty tough, and I was proud of that. I'm proud of that to this
Yeah.
day. You know, the problem I have is when you have programs where the only success they have is girls that transfer, and it's like, okay, like what are you doing? Like, you clearly
Yeah.
are not the reason that your program is good.
Well,
The
then
reason your
that
program is
makes me
good is
ask,
because of those.
why are they going to that program? You know, like if,
Yeah.
you know, nobody has had success, you know, previous, then what's drawing you there? You know, because even, you know, Josh was talking about it. You know, he transferred to Calvary, and you know, wanted better coaching, and nobody ever really talks about John Azevedo as if he's a bad coach because he had, you know, people transfer. They
Dude,
think he,
Oregon, and all over the place, dude. You look at the
yeah,
map. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
nobody talks about that. You know, after he retired, everybody's like, he's a great coach. He won 6 state titles. Like that's all, you know, we remember him by. So, you know, if you know, he kind of sells himself too. He's a great coach and great guy, and people want to wrestle for him. So, you know, it makes sense that people would want to go there.
Yeah. No, I agree. You know, I mean, and people always complain about Poway too, you know, and
Yeah,
you know, oh, you know, they, you know, all the things that they do, or Clovis, you know, all the things that they do, and it's like, look, there's obviously a reason people want to go there. People, you know, feel comfortable sending their kid there. It's a hard decision. I know we struggle with my daughter to, you know, decide whether or not to send her to another school and what school to send her to and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, it was just like, well, it's up to you, kid. What do you want? I mean, the kid
yeah.
has to buy into it also. Can't just be a mom and dad said go there, because kid's probably not going to be happy. You
Well,
know?
I feel bad for a lot of kids too. Like they're in a program with one or two girls who, you know, are on different levels as them, and you know they want to get to the top, but you know nobody really cares. A lot of times they have an assistant or freshman coach or a dad that has to take them to tournaments, and they're not getting the full experience, and it's kind of sad because it's a lot of fun to be on a girls' team. Not actually no, but you know, I watch the girls and they interact and they bond, and you know, when you got 45 girls on the team, like they have 45 friends immediately, and then they're constantly hanging out and they're doing stuff together. To me, that's what, you know, the most important part of the wrestling season is traveling, it's going to tournaments, it's you know, sweating and trying to fight for somebody else, and it's not all about you. To me,
Yeah.
that's what it's really about, you know.
Yeah. No, it is a different dynamic, you know, for sure. You know, and you know, I talked to Katya about that last week. You know, I was like, what's it
Yeah,
like? You know, and oh no, she gets her interactions, you know, other ways, going to other tournaments, or, you know, other teams and stuff like that in the off season. You know, but I think it is, you do kind of miss it. We're kind of lucky as guys because we've always had it. You know, like,
yeah,
oh, it's just, you know, the stories you have and the experiences you guys have and stuff like that. It's fun, you know. But you're right. There's a ton of girls out there. I mean, that's mainly why we started the club, is just because there's a ton of girls out there, and maybe they have ability, maybe they don't, maybe just people just don't care about them, and they just fall through the cracks, and maybe they don't stick with the sport, or maybe they just hate going to tournaments alone and don't feel any kind of connection with anything or the sport because they're always solo. You know, they're always the outlier. And
not every girl wants to wrestle boys and is like, wants that tough competition. I mean, a lot of girls are, but a lot of them are kind of like, I'd rather not wrestle boys. I'd rather just wrestle girls, and I'd rather, be with other girls. And that's something, to be respected as well. I mean, I came from a team that had 6 guys on it, and we never won a duel my whole high school career. And we had like 4 guys go to state. We got 8th in state one year because we had 2 placers. But, we only had like 5 or 6 guys. So I always kind of craved that team unity thing. So when I became a coach.
Dude, you got more than have it now. Dude, you got like 6 teams in your freaking room, dude. It's insane.
Right. And that's one of the things that I've always kind of put my focus on, is like the team as a whole, is bigger than any individual. And to me, that's something that's stronger. The bond is way stronger than one person or one individual. I may have really good wrestlers, but if I focus on one kid and I neglect the others, then that unity is weak, and the kids sense it, and they don't fight for you or die for you when it's on the line, because they don't care about anything else but themselves.
Yeah. No, that's important.
It can be poison to a program too when you have one superstar that everyone caters to, that everyone else gets kind of feel neglected. Real good kids start going other places because they don't feel any love. I've seen that.
Yeah, it's hard.
So, yeah, but alrighty, fellas. Well, I hate to be the one to cut it short today, but I have family obligations I got to deal with today. So, just wanted to touch base with Jimmy, though. Oh, Jimmy, by the way, dude, you got like a backlog, don't you, at a weight class? You're going to have like Gomez and Rollins. How's that going to shake out?
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
2 hammers, dude. What a terrible problem to have, huh?
Well,
like,
Veronica's
poor
really
baby.
good too. Veronica's
a
state qualifier. So, she, and it's hard because you can't necessarily go by who's the heaviest and who's the lightest, which would be nice, because then it'd be like, oh, okay, you're the lightest, you go down. But, the one that's in the middle has less body fat, so the one that's in, I don't know. So, like, it's hard. So I'm going to, try them at the same weight a couple times and mix and match them a little bit and see, who could actually go down healthily, and who, you never know. Sometimes I hate to go, oh, you're going this way, you're going that way, because you never know how things are going to pan out. Maybe somebody loses weight during the season, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh, shoot, I'm only 115. I want to go 113, and that works out. But sometimes, it's like somebody grows, and then now all of a sudden they're cutting a ton of weight, and it doesn't work out for them. So I'm hoping it kind of pans out on its own. It probably won't, but I'll just have to make a decision. I'm trying, Katie's supposed to go down this week to see how she wrestled at 17. So we'll see how she does at that weight. And Veronica, I think, is going to stay at 26 right now. So, she's going to take her time coming down. So I don't know. All that to say, I really don't know.
Yeah. It's still
it's a tough issue to have, I feel for you.
I feel really bad for him. I truly do, because I can't imagine having those problems. I can't imagine having those problems.
Yeah, they're always sweating me too. Like, what weight am I going? And am I going to go down? And she going to go down? I'm like, we'll see. These things have a way of working themselves out most of the time.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I gotta assess, who's at what weight and where I think they'll do the best. And ideally, I want them all to do the best they can. So I'm trying to find the right fit for all of them. One of them's stronger than the other one. One's more athletic. One's a little bit more technical. So, sometimes, to be heavier is good for somebody who's faster and more technical. Sometimes, being stronger is a big benefit, if you cut the weight. So those are things that kind of have to play out a little bit.
That's tough. No, like I said, we don't feel sorry for you at all.
Right. My biggest problem right now is, getting them all to wrestle at the same time. Everybody's got something. I'm sick. I got to go on vacation. We're going to Texas for Thanksgiving. So it's like, there's like, I got all these girls that should be wrestling and they're not because,
you should just say whoever's at practice the most gets first choice.
Right.
Guarantee you, dude. It'll be done deal. You won't have to worry about it. They'll all be there.
Well, those three are always there. I mean, those three never miss anything.
Never miss. Well, that's the beauty of having them compete against each other is because they know, like, you can't miss a day. You miss a day, you're going to give up something. You can't miss a day. So.
Well, Veronica and Leah like to wrestle with each other. They go really, really hard. Katie likes to wrestle with the bigger girls because she gets a little bit more of a challenge. But
good problems overall. Good problems.
Yeah, it's good.
All righty, boys. Well, Jimmy, we always appreciate you coming on. We know we give you a hard time, but you're always a good sport about it. It's nice to see, and I tell people this all the time. Like, I got into wrestling because it's a guy thing, and it's hard to find. And you and I have even had our differences at tournaments and stuff, and we're still like, we're still good. Like, you just don't see it nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys get upset and they like hold on to it like a coin purse. And I'm like, what's your problem? Like, you're supposed to be guys. You're supposed to talk smack and then go have a beer. I don't drink, but I'll buy you a beer. I don't mind.
The days when people would like have like a fist fight or they'd hit each other and have a little tussle and then hug it out and then be like, all right, we're cool. Let's go, drink together. Like, those are the good old days, but that stuff doesn't happen anymore.
No. I'm going to get you kicked out of coaching forever and I'm going to sue you and whatever. But alrighty, fellas.
Takedowns in the parking lot.
There you go. That's all we were doing, officer. We were just going takedowns in the parking lot. He fell. He didn't tuck his chin. It's not really my fault. But you got anything else, Josh, before I let you guys go?
No, I think that's going to be next week's going to be good. And then, we'll start really seeing where kids or girls are settling in weights and whatnot.
Yeah. Another thing too, Josh, we got to have our rankings out by next week.
Okay.
So we'll be talking about that. People are asking me about it this weekend. I told them, okay, they're coming. We have enough. We'll have enough after this week.
We'll at least be able to do Southern California rankings, maybe not even Southern section, because at least we have some LA insight. But I don't know what we're going to do for NorCal since we don't really have a NorCal contributor to the show.
If anybody wants to be a contributor, we'll have you on the podcast if you want. If you don't want, it's fine. But we need, because, I don't know, for some reason the person we had is just, he's just smoke. He's just not here. So we gotta
get Rob Flores on.
Game. All right, get us his contact information. We'll have him on. Alrighty, but everybody else, thank you very much. Like us on all social media. Like us on Google Play, iTunes, all that good stuff. No Jodeci. Sorry, Jimmy. You're gonna have to take that with you later. We're going out with our usual. So.